Hello, crypto traders and crypto investors. How are you all keeping? Yes, I'm making a new video. Lately, I haven't been doing that many videos as I used to. It's mainly because the situation is changing a little bit, and I'm working hard on making building new strategies and adapting to it. And what I'm gonna do today is a really in-depth analysis of what's going on when it comes to the charts. We're gonna look at different charts, starting from Coinmarket cap, the total market cap. We're gonna look at Bitcoin. We're gonna look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. I got inspired by Luke Martin there, the way he looks at, how he looks at the channel between Ethereum and Bitcoin as a reference to alt seasons. So we're gonna look at all that. So it's gonna be quite in-depth analysis. And maybe for those of you who are completely new, it might get boring because it will be quite technical. But I think you're gonna get a lot of value. I'm gonna explain it in words that are quite simple. So stick in there, and I think you can gain a lot of value there and learn or get an idea or two. So first, starting from total market cap, I was observing this for quite some time now. I was really interested in what will happen after the bounce, and I was expecting this to have a little blockage here in energy or hit a resistance, because if we look at this area, of course we cannot draw here, so you're gonna have to use your imagination a little bit. But we see here we first hit the resistance 450, and then we bounced off. Okay, this was 460, and then we were bouncing off 430. It's not a precise science, of course, and I can't draw the lines here, but looking at this prices, observing just this, how this bounced here, um, all of that made me think that this is kind of like an area of resistance. So around 430, 450, all that, and it actually really showed. The charts prove that as we tried to break through 430 ish, okay, 438. Of course, this is not as correct because this is not as one. This is all coins together. This is not just one, not all coins, but majority of the coins that are all the coins that are on the site market cap. So yeah, we see this testing this area, and if we look closer, and again I can't draw on this, so I'm gonna ask you to use your imagination again. If you look at this, okay, this is, I didn't want to do that. I can't even click on it because it will. Okay, like this. So if you're observing this, this actually looks like an ascending triangle. If we bounced up here, we bounced up here, we bounced up here, and these 3 points. And I'm gonna just use this chart as though it doesn't have anything to do with it, just to show you what I mean. Okay, let's get some free space. So that market cap, just gonna redraw it, but basically it went up and something like this, around 430, and then like this, something like that, and like this, and now it's about here. So my main point here is that it's making some kind of a triangle, and it looks something like this. Now with this picture in your mind, like this triangle, if we connect these dots to that, I think it's more vivid now. So what does that mean? In trading technical analysis, usually the triangles like this break to the upper side because the downward momentum is going I mean, the bears are losing strength because they're trying to push the price lower, but they are not successful. But the bulls are, you know, you know, basically the bears don't let the price go over this while they're fighting, but the bulls are on the winning side, so to speak, because they are at least not making new highs, but at least coming to a same kind of area. Of course, I have to repeat that this is not an exact science, so especially if you're looking at total cap, because this is not one specific coin and then everybody is looking at it, but this is just to give you an idea. So that's one. So what does that mean? Well, it means that if this holds true, we might see a nice breakout on the market cap, meaning that all the coins together, Bitcoin and all the altcoins, might rise after this breakout, because we have an we have extension and compression all the time in the market. So compression is when you're getting a tighter and tighter range, and then expansion when we break through that. So that's an interesting thing to watch. So let's dive in deeper into the Bitcoin charts. And the way I'm doing it is, oh, and also a really important thing that I've learned from my own mistakes in the last 14 days, which were kind of challenging for me when it comes to trading. So I'm gonna share my mistakes with you, so maybe you don't have to repeat them. But when we were going through this downtrend, I kind of became successful at shorting and just picking nice little spots. Um, and I had I made quite a lot of nice profitable trades. And since we bounced off here, I was struggling quite a bit, and I was trying to figure out, what was the mistake that I'm doing. And then I figured out the biggest mistake that I was doing is that volatility changed. Because since we have this ride from the start of April, the volatility is bigger. So what I did as a trader then, um, first nothing. I didn't change my approach, which was wrong because I should have changed my approach. So I was using the same technique strategies. So I was being stopped out all the time. But what I'm doing last few days after I observed this is I've just increased my time zones, time scales, the charts, so that I take out the noise because there's just so much noise. I would have to go to a smaller chart to show you that. On 3 day it's not really that clear, but yeah, here might be clearer. Because for instance, once we were on in a triangle like this, okay, and we are in a triangle here. I'm getting ahead of myself, but just to explain my thought process. I mean, the movements were smaller. Like we were going from 7,500 to 6,500, so about in this range. But then when we had this expansion, the range was way bigger. So I went from using 3 minute charts to using 20-minute charts. And now again, I could actually go down to smaller time frames again, because we are, as you see in this triangle, we're going closer and closer. So the range is tighter and tighter. And I think it makes sense. But the thing is, if you go to a 3 minute and there is a big volatility, you just have like big, relatively speaking, big price swings. So trying to hit a reversal on 3 minutes is almost impossible because there's so much noise. Something will just jump up and you'll be stopped. So in the times of increased volatility, I've learned to use to go to a higher time frames, relatively speaking. Of course, if you're a day trader, of course, it's different than being an investor and all that. So this is mainly for trading. So okay, that was that. So going back to the Bitcoin chart, what I am looking at here, this is logarithmic scale, and I'm observing this triangle. I think this triangle is going to be a key. Okay, I'm just going to erase this here. Okay, I think this bigger triangle, and I've posted this on my Twitter account. I think this is kind of like a key triangle to watch because I made a whole analysis of all these triangles all the way back to till 2012, and how each year we had a triangle like that, and then it was not like that. Sometimes it was symmetrical, sometimes it was like this, and then we either broke to the upside or to the downside. And this is more of a bullish triangle had as we saw before, because it's increasing, like as the bottom line is going up but the higher one is flat. And I know you might look at this, but this is above the triangle. Why aren't you making it like that? And then connect this, because, and this is mainly because the structure has changed, and I'll explain what I mean by that. Look at this. I don't like that. Let's just keep on coming back. I have to save. So yeah, it's true that we used to have. I'm just gonna hide this. We used to have this triangle that everybody were looking at. That looked more like this, right? Something like that. But then once it was breaking through, and we kind of have almost like a proof that it's broken, because the support held. I mean, nothing is 100% sure, but it looks like the support held. So that means that this triangle is broken. So it does not apply anymore. So then I was looking, okay, what else is happening? And I was looking at this area that we bounced off twice here, and this is how I got my triangle. And then I have noticed that this goes back all the way here as well, like that. And I can actually connect this as well, making it even stronger, or like that, you know. Okay, I don't want to go too much detail about that because I'm just losing time. So yeah, I think this is a really important triangle to watch, because after this, as we know, we probably break through the upside. But it also gives us idea that if this is true, that means that price, we're gonna see quite a lot of sideways action, in a sense that we're gonna be bounced to these lines, which is not like, well, sideways action in Bitcoin still means that you can drop for a few thousand in a month or in a week, but basically in this triangle, I think we're gonna be range bound. Okay, I mean there's still a big volatility even if we stay in here, so that's okay. All right, so that was that. I know there was a alt season was written there, and I'm gonna go into detail about that later on when we connect all the dots. And all right, so we have a daily chart here, which is probably one of the most important charts, if not the most important chart to watch. So the 50 MA is angling, it's kind of down, but it's flattening out, and the 50 MA is, for me, the main moving average that I'm looking at. And according to that, I determine, is this a downtrend or an uptrend or a sideways movement, which is happening now. But I've also talked about in Twitter that also 200 moving average is a key area to watch, which is this red line. This is 200 moving average, and it really held. It was a resistance, although a little bit before we hit it. But we still have to break through if we want to go higher, which in 2014 we failed, right? Because we had this trend line, like that triangle that I showed you before that connects this. And then we broke through, and everybody thought, okay, this is a new bull run. But then we hit this 200 moving average. So it is important to look at it. So this is what we can see from this, and like 15 EMA acts as a nice support here. This is this blue line. So these are the important things here. Like momentum is, to to the downside, but on moving average here, this is this, or not moving average, on MACD, which is this, and I have this special settings for that, so it's not the usual one. You can pause the video and put it like that, but it's not really that important as long as you see that the momentum is going out of the market a little bit, which is quite normal for it to happen, because every time you come into a triangle like this, the big movement the market has stopped a little bit, so it's normal to see the volume. I'm sure the volume is going out as well without even looking at it. You can see from MACD, that it's going down since we are in this triangle, and that's completely normal. It doesn't say where we're going, for the direction. We have to use different techniques than this, because I think people can get trapped into thinking, okay, look, volume is going out, so that means that interest is going from the market and we will drop down. Well, not necessarily true when you're going into contraction and in a sideways movements, when it's like a no trade area for a lot of people. A lot of people don't want to get involved into action like this. They're just waiting for the breakout. This is why when we have a breakout out of triangle, the volume increases, so either downside or the upside. So yeah, looking at so we have a triangle. In triangle, I really like triangles. I think it proves to be one of the most powerful techniques to use in crypto trading. And this triangle is something like this. So it's not perfect. It's not perfectly symmetrical. It's not perfectly descending or something like that. So it is a little bit tricky. It is a tricky one. So it kind of, because if it was like that, we could say, okay, it's more likely that it will break through the upside. If it was like that, we could say the other thing, that it will go to the downside, but it's kind of like in between, so it could break through the either up or down. But the fact that 15 EMA is acting as a nice support here, and we bounced off it every time, and the fact that we saw that thing on the total market cap, we might see, this is a speculation, whatever happens, it happens. Like, I'm gonna be prepared for every scenario. Either if we go down, just short here. If we go here, just go long here. Although my only problem here would be that sooner or later we would hit this resistance. Even if we break through this, if you know what I mean, even if we break through this, sooner or later we're gonna be met with a resistance, which is okay, which is fine. Whenever you're trying to make new highs in a smaller trend, you're gonna be hitting some kind of a resistance, so that is fine. And we know how, when Bitcoin gets a powerful momentum, how strong it can be like this. It was just breaking through one resistance after another. So this, but of course, like, we cannot rule out the possibility that this happens as well. So let's go even closer to 8-hour chart. And yeah, we still see this triangle just in more detail, and that also this 50 MA is also kind of like a support here. And yeah, that's pretty much it when it comes to Bitcoin chart. And then the next thing I want to look at is, and this is not my trading idea, this is coming from Luke Martin. Yeah, you can follow him on Twitter, venture capitalist. And basically what he's doing is he looks at Ethereum versus Bitcoin to determine where the alts are going. So he has this channel, and it makes a lot of sense. So he has this channel, so Ethereum versus Bitcoin, this is on Bittrex, and we bounced here on the start of April out of 618 area on the retracement, and now we're going higher nicely, and again we are hitting this resistance. But what that means is that usually when Ethereum is making new highs, all the other alts are going up as well. So it is important to watch this. And if we go closer to 8 hour, like lately since this breakout, I've added another channel which is on since that bounce, and I'm just gonna take those moving averages out so you're gonna have a clear picture. And yeah, you can see that we've been making new highs, since the start of April. We've been following this channel really neatly. Now we hit this resistance here, which was also kind of expected because this was a 382 area. Okay. Yeah, around. Okay, why is this not as clear? I'm not. Something like this. Yeah, well, it is in that kind of area, but even more precise would be to look at this, which was a previous support, so now acts as a resistance. So this area here, and with it, and of course this is not exact science, but if you look at this here, this kind of is the whole area here. Looks as a resistance if you look at this channel from here, right? You see this, yeah. So from this we can say, okay, this is kind of like a resistance. So it's completely normal that we're seeing a little bit of a blockage of the energy to the upward. But yeah, it's looking rather bullish looking at this channel until, like, if we break through, of course, we're gonna have a different conversation. But the trend is your friend until the end. So until this is going according to this channel, this is an upward trend. So meaning this is good for altcoins, and altcoins should go up as well. So that was that, and yeah, that was it for me today. Actually, I think we've covered quite a lot. There was a lot of different topics that we've covered. So for a little summary, the situation is on total market cap. We are hitting a little bit of resistance here, but it's looking quite optimistic that we might break through the upside, bringing all the alts up and Bitcoin as well. Another thing that we looked at was Bitcoin, and we looked at few different scenarios. And okay, yeah, I also promise that I'm gonna explain why I have this here alt season, is because when Bitcoin goes kind of like sideways, if this theory holds true, often the altcoins take the initiative. So first the Bitcoin takes initiative, it goes up, and then this pushes the alts to go higher. And even if Bitcoin goes sideways like this, alts can go higher. So that's what I meant by this here. And also this supports the fact that we looked in later about this channel that we bounced off here, and we are hitting this resistance, but I think we are ready to make some new highs when it comes to this trend. All right, that was it for today. There was in-depth analysis to give you some ideas, and there's no specific trading setup, or what, I didn't call any trading signal because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you my perspective of the market. So good luck with your trading and investing, and see you next time. Like, share, and subscribe.